Good morning. I'm Archie Sater, instructor for IMC 616. That's the direct marketing component of our IMC program. And tell you a little bit about my personal background, and then we'll get right into the topic of today's discussion, which is the value of a degree in IMC, specifically the WVU program. And our comments are going to be oriented toward career opportunities in this field. I'm a native of Ann Arbor, Michigan right now, but previously was in Morgantown for several years, and I guess that makes me a mountaineer at heart. I've been in the agency business in New York for about 20 years, working in direct marketing and in general advertising as well. I had my own firm, and we worked primarily in three industries: sports marketing, financial services, and publishing. Had the chance to work for many, many years with NFL properties, handling their licensing and sponsorship and publishing ventures, NBA properties, Standard & Poor's, Business Week magazine, and several other fine firms. It's kind of interesting. Each of these companies had a true focus on IMC. They hired our firm as a direct marketing agency, but they didn't ask us to develop direct marketing programs specifically for lead generation or traditional direct response programs. They asked us to utilize direct marketing within their IMC efforts to build brand value. And that really is the emphasis of a whole program: how to use each and every marketing communications vehicle to build brand value. I listed 4 or 5 definitions of IMC. No need to take these down literally, but there are 4 or 5 leaders of our field who really talk about what IMC, and what they have in common is the following. I mean, IMC really is a discipline in which we evaluate and utilize every marketing communications vehicle to meet the marketing communications objectives of the firm. Some other things that they have in common amongst these definitions is we utilize IMC to build brand value. And another key thing, which you've heard over and over again today, is consistency. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the importance of message consistency shortly later. I've spoke with the leaders of our program, as well as my own experience in this area. And the key question prospective students have in mind is, how does IMC differ from a traditional MBA? And I'm sure many of you have had that question before, and I'll give you my own take on it. First of all, I earned myself an MBA. Many, many years ago, I went to Columbia Business School. I majored in marketing. It was a 60-credit-hour program, but as a marketing major in an MBA program, in a 60-credit-hour program, I was able to take 4 courses in marketing. The other courses were in finance, they were in management, they were in accounting, they were in statistics. It's not that those weren't important areas, but for somebody interested in a career in the promotion area, it did not really compare with the 13-course program we have here. We also develop an expertise in the key element of the marketing mix, which is promotion. As you may have learned in the course of an undergraduate, the marketing mix really includes the 4 Ps: product, placement, pricing, and promotion. We focus on one of them: promotion. An MBA program, if you're studying marketing, and if you're planning to go to work for a firm in product development where price strategy, price development, and distribution channels are relevant, an MBA may be more appropriate. But if you're focusing on the world of promotion, the IMC program is really unique. Numbers are on your side. What do I mean by that? I recently saw that there are over 500 schools in the United States alone offering MBA programs. They graduate an average over 200 students apiece a year. That's 100,000 MBAs every single year are granted. I come from the state of Michigan. In Michigan, the University of Michigan, Wayne State University, Michigan State University, Eastern Michigan, Central Michigan, Western Michigan, Northwood Institute. There are like 15 schools offering MBAs. Those schools are pretty big schools too. They may produce 10, 15,000 MBAs alone. And many of these people want to stay in the state of Michigan, but you know what? The auto industry cannot absorb 15,000 MBAs alone. They really cannot. And those who want to go to Wall Street, they're not so hot for them either. So the numbers are on your side. There are, as you may have done in your own research, half a dozen programs or so in IMC. Our program is probably the largest, but we're talking about hundreds of graduates a year, not tens of thousands of graduates a year. And unique skills. You have the chance to develop some very, very unique skills in our program. We're going to talk about, as many of you who attended the session on developing the big idea this morning, we talked about really coming up with a strategy for developing a big idea. In my course, direct marketing, we really focus on not just the traditional direct marketing functions, but really how to build long-term customer value. Probably the most important area in communications is really not just how to attract customers, how to maximize their long-term value, their loyalty, how much they'll purchase from you, etc. So these are some of the key differences. I find that MBA programs, I don't want to speak disparagingly about them, they're just different. If you are looking to develop advanced decision-making skills, leadership skills, an MBA program may be more appropriate. If you are really focusing on the world of promotion, an IMC program is more appropriate. We could talk today about career opportunities in three areas: the agency world, the not-for-profit sector, as well as industry. And a couple of comments about leaders from the agency world about this subject. This is from the chairman of Marstella. One of the things we feel is that while many of the recruits may have come from liberal arts or from business schools, in the future agencies should concentrate in journalism schools where there are disciplines of advertising which both professors and students have committed themselves to our business. So here's somebody from a leading agency saying, we want people who've already indicated they're interested in our business, in the world of advertising. The chairperson of JWT, J. Walter Thompson, mentions, there's nothing wrong with MBAs per se, but whole teams of them is something else. We were developing teams, furthermore, that were the mirror images of our clients. We weren't bringing fresh viewpoints to our clients anymore. They looked at us and saw themselves. Now, this was mentioned perhaps 20 years ago, and then over the last 15 years, we saw IMC programs develop, partially in response to this. We really wanted to come up with people who had fresh viewpoints, who knew how to use all marketing communication vehicles in a consistent manner. The IMC Career Paths exist in every major industry, ranging from agencies, whether it's advertising, public relations, digital communications, direct marketing, sales promotions, or really truly integrated marketing communications, to the not-for-profit sector. We can't cover all of them, but we'll talk a little bit later about opportunities in healthcare and education. They also exist in the world of arts, in philanthropy, in government, and in industry, both business to business as well as business to consumer. Let's begin by talking about the agency world. I'm going to suggest 5 key things to focus on if you're interested in a job in the agency world. Number 1, do your homework. By that I mean review agency news. There are several fine websites ranging from a couple of publications, adage.com, adweek.com, DM News, to the professional associations, the 4As, PRSA and Public Relations, to the Promotion Marketing Association, and to an Internet Marketing Association. All of these sites not only have got the story about which agencies are pitching which new accounts, that's critical, but they all have job banks too, where you can actually look up and find job listings. I say doing homework is critical. I mean that because in the agency world, most of the jobs are not going to come about by listings. They're going to come about by contacting an agency, a key person at an agency, and saying, you know, I notice you're pitching this particular account. I've got some experience in this industry, and I've noticed something that how this account differs from its competitors, and I think I can share some of that information with you that may help you in your pitch. All of a sudden, you're practicing the marketing concept. The marketing concept basically means you're putting yourself in the shoes of your customer. You're telling them, I know what matters to you, and I can help you do your job better. So do your homework. If you're ever applying to an agency, learn who their present accounts are, which accounts they're pitching, and come up with some ideas. Study the accounts competition and make some relevant comments to them about what you can do differently. In the agency, types of jobs for IMC personnel include account planning versus account service. I guess a lot of people confuse the two functions. The account service jobs are the traditional jobs that you'll find account executives, assistant account executives, account supervisors, management supervisors. These are people who maintain the contact with the client, the contact with the internal creative and media departments, and try to coordinate all agency services, with the client. The account planning jobs are more marketing strategic jobs that the agency performs in behalf of their client. The account planners try to do the research and suggest the marketing strategies to a client that will then be followed up upon with the account service people. Social media, public relations jobs in agencies. Many of the old-time advertising agencies now have their own public relations departments or separate public relations divisions. And there are many jobs, whether it's corporate communications, account executives, or other areas. Speaking of job listings, I looked at a few of these sites, this was a couple weeks ago, on the PRSA, which is a Public Relations Society of America. On the job bank, I just punched in the keywords integrated marketing communications. I came up with 524 job listings. I didn't list, obviously, I just listed the titles of a few of the current job listings. And these are based on the words integrated marketing communications. An agency job, Digitus, is a digital marketing agency. They have a job listing right now. On their site, they list a little bit about their background. The job is a manager of U.S. marketing. The description conducts briefings for internal team outlining specifics of the project, leads a cross-functional team in delivering marketing programs across multiple channels, maintains and grows strong mid-level client relationships. It talks about the strategy of the position. And I'm not going to read through this completely, but this really is a definition of integrated marketing communications. This is what we do. We develop customer insights, as was discussed in the big idea meeting today. We develop offer strategies, relationship strategies, testing strategies, a key component of direct marketing. We define the business objectives of a marketing program and demonstrate an understanding of the economic impact of the program. The requirements of just this particular job of 5 years of integrated marketing program development. I know if you're considering just entering the program, you don't yet necessarily have this experience, but if this is a six-figure job and 5 years of experience developing the program with 2 years of agency experience, it's not that far ahead to look. They ask for a master's degree. They say master's degree is preferred, the bachelor's degree required, with strong analytical and strategic abilities. I can tell you, based on the strategy and the job description, if you go in there and describe what you accomplished in the IMC program compared to 99 out of 100 of your competitors applying for this job with an MBA, your background will stand out. And I put a slide in here, become an IMC ambassador. One of the problems with this concept that there are few IMC programs is not too many people know about it. I'm suggesting that our program provides the ideal background for this position as well as hundreds of other positions. And due to the recency and scarcity of our programs, many firms are not familiar with the degree. Promote the program and you'll promote yourself. Become an IMC Ambassador. I talked a little bit about this before, that the marketing concept really is to put yourself in your client's shoes and your customer's shoes. Really applies not just to marketing, but to marketing yourself. Anticipate the stated and unstated needs and desires of your prospective recruiter. Determine what a potential agency needs to succeed. Which agencies are pitching which accounts? Which accounts can produce increased billings? Example, I'll give you an example. I had an agency in New York, Sater and Associates. One day I get a call from a young man and said, I'm interested in a job in your media department. I said, I'm not hiring anybody in the media department. I really can't use your service. I tried to be polite, but I hung up pretty quickly. 2 weeks later, he calls back a second time and said, I called you a couple of weeks, but I noticed one of your accounts is NFL properties, and I think I can make a special contribution on that account. I said, well, thanks very much, but once again, our media department servicing that account is completely at full capacity. We're not hiring anybody. 2 weeks later, he calls me back a third time and says, I've been looking at some of the advertising you do for that client, and I noticed you're running a one-page ad in Sports Illustrated. I know from my experience at another agency that you can get a 2-page spread for just like 25% more cost, and I think your client will be impressed by you showing them the media value of a 2-page spread versus, and all of a sudden I say, hey, I better talk to this guy. So I invited him in, we had a cup of coffee together, and I wound up hiring him. I found a place for him because he talked my language. And that is often the way it's done in the agency world. You really are not, there are job listings out there, and if you're interested in the agency world, I encourage you to look at those job listings. But in addition, there's nothing wrong with picking an agency, studying their clients, studying who they're pitching, and say, I really want to work in electronics, I really want to work in consumer products, I really want to work in, in sports marketing. This agency is serving this client. I'm going to do some research on everybody, on all the other competitors of this client. I'm going to come up with some fresh ideas and offer that to them, and you'll get through the door. I can't promise you you'll get a job, but you'll get somebody to talk to. And that really is what the marketing concept is all about. Be creative and persistent. Use sales promotion to break down barriers. By this I mean there are barriers. As I mentioned, people are not out there hiring by the hundreds. They're busy. Sometimes you just have to, get through that door, get past the front desk, and get to talk to somebody face to face. I don't suggest you use this approach if you're applying for a job at IBM or Exxon or Goldman Sachs, but the agency world is creative. You can, this is a case of a football with a hang tag. I'd like to kick around an idea with you. Now, this is expensive. You could do this with a mini ball, with a little soccer ball. You could spend a few dollars. You're not going to do this in mass, but if you've narrowed down the people you want to talk to, the management supervisor of an account that you really would love to work on, put something like this on his or her desk. Setting the direction for your business. Took a little compass. These compasses cost like $3, $4 a piece. You can emblazon them, setting the direction for your business. A small little disposable camera. Picture yourself winning the Walgreens account. You can approach advertising personnel in a creative way where you're showing off your own creativity. And always make it relevant to the business you'd like to work on, and indicate how you can help them improve their business. Well, let's go on a little bit to leave the advertising world and talk about the not-for-profit sector, whether it's healthcare, education, the arts, government, philanthropy. I'll talk a little bit about healthcare and education, and we really don't have the time to cover this too thoroughly. But the major employers using marketing communications in health sector include hospitals, health systems, home health chains, nursing homes. There are the disease-focused organizations, the American Heart Association, National Institute of Health, CDC, the professional associations, foundations, health insurance, health consulting firms. Here's a website that has a comprehensive list of all organizations in the healthcare sector. A few weeks ago, I just looked at a few websites. One of them was the American Public Health Association. Again, I looked for jobs that related to IMC. They're looking for, the American Society for Clinical Pathology is looking for a communications director. Another firm is looking for a public affairs specialist. The North Shore Jewish Healthcare System is looking for an internal communications senior specialist. The Department of Health and Services is looking for a health communications specialist. Blue Cross Blue Shield Association is looking for a manager of consumer brand strategy, a senior program manager, a manager of creative services. This is a public health site that George Washington University manages, but they're looking for a communications manager in DC, an associate director of internal communications, and many, many other firms. So if healthcare is your interest, there are many, many opportunities in that area. Several other websites listing job opportunities in healthcare. The education sector, there are huge opportunities in education. In the 20th century, 12 years ago, schools typically let the market come to them. They really didn't, they thought promoting themselves was beneath them. Either students want to come to us or they didn't. Today, it's very, very different. Schools go out of their way to brand themselves, promote themselves, and market themselves. They endorse IMC wholeheartedly. Let's take a look at the stakeholders of a university. High school students, current university students, alumni, donors, guidance counselors, scholars who are potential faculty. In a public institution like West Virginia University, state legislators who are responsible for funding the school, the media, corporate recruiters, parents, and the community itself. Anyone think of any key stakeholder that I may have left out here? I kind of slapped my wrist as soon as I finished the slide. I said, you know what? Excuse me? Well, the current students there, but current staff and faculty. Now, a school like West Virginia University has thousands of staff and faculty. Now, if each member of our staff and faculty embraced our university, was loyal to our university, thought highly of our university, and went out and discussed our university proudly with their family and friends, this university would not have to spend a penny on marketing and promotion. I mean, think about that. If we had 4,000 or 5,000 people each reaching out to 10 family and friends, speaking highly of the job experiences of the environment here, our job would be done. And you know what? IMC can influence that. We can come up with internal communication programs to make our faculty and staff, more proud, more loyal, and encourage them to speak highly of the university. I mentioned message consistency is critical. We talked about that as a key component of IMC. Why is that so important? Well, let's think about this. High school students become university students. University students become alumni. Alumni become donors. Alumni become high school guidance counselors and teachers. Many of them go on to become PhDs and are scholars. Alumni become state legislators. They become reporters. They become corporate recruiters. they work in the community, they become parents. We cannot afford to give one message to high school students and another message to donors. We've got to be consistent because the audience is so similar. And to develop that message over the years, if this university could start branding itself, what we stood for, what our mission is, and impress current high school students with that, and reinforce that over the years as they move through these channels and these careers, we'd be in fine shape. And again, that's a function of IMC, and that's why message consistency is so critical. Let's talk about current job listings at the university level. Several sources. One of them is the Chronicle of Higher Education. There's a website, chronicle.com. All of these websites, by the way, are free. They're open to the public. You can go in there anytime you want. I just listed on May 10th, maybe 10 of the jobs relating to IMC, ranging from Director of Marketing Communications to Communications and Marketing Manager, Associate Director of Communications, Assistant Vice President for Marketing Communications, Director of Communications, Associate Vice President for Strategic Communications, and many schools throughout the country. Again, from an education perspective, an IMC program cannot be beat for preparing you for any of these jobs. Now, if you have no experience in education, these people are not necessarily going to respect your degree alone to give you an entry-level job. But if you, and it doesn't necessarily have to be education, but if you've got experience in an institution, in a not-for-profit organization, working as a marketing coordinator, and then you go through the discipline of this program, you look at it, you apply for a job as Assistant Director for Communications at Miami University, I can assure you jobs at the Assistant Director level, at the manager level, at the coordinator level, if you've got 2, 3, 4 years of experience in an institution, plus an MS and IMC, your background would be considered. Another website in education is higheredjobs.com. If you like sports marketing, Harvard is looking for an Assistant Director of Athletic Communications. And you can see many, many others. A communications marketing manager, a marketing communications manager. These jobs, again, probably would look at 2 to 4 years of experience plus a master's degree in IMC as being the qualifications required. But I'm just showing you these examples to suggest the major areas where there's demand for people with an IMC background. And certainly the agency world, health services world, and the education world are big areas where there are hundreds of jobs opportunities. And again, there probably are nationwide, maybe 200 IMC graduates a year. I don't know if any of you used whether it's careerbuilder.com, monster.com, major jobs in industry. Here's one. Again, I just punched in integrated marketing communications as the keywords. UPS is looking for integrated communications manager. Midwest Dairy Association integrated communications program manager. GE Healthcare, a global marketing communications manager. Kimberly Clark, an integrated marketing planning director. If you just look at these titles and everything we've discussed so far, you'll realize once again that there are major opportunities for people with IMC backgrounds. Monster came up with 715 IMC listings. Similar to Digitus, let's take a look at one of the job listings we saw, which was Honeywell. They're looking for a senior marketing manager of communications. This manager will direct advertising, promotional efforts, and public relations activities. He or she is responsible for enhancing and protecting Honeywell's brand, developing effective and consistent product messages, and communicating them through print and electronic media in accordance with the business goals and objectives. And that's everything we talked about what IMC is. Consistency, objectives, and building the brand. And you come out of this program learning these things and focusing on these things. And again, if you can communicate your comprehension and sensitivity to these issues in applying for a job like this, you'd be well received. Requirements: a bachelor's degree in communication arts or marketing or equivalent, a minimum of 5 years of marketing or marketing communications experience in a business-to-business environment, and a preferred qualifications. Here they specifically say MBA, but I cannot believe that these people even know there's an MS-IMC program when you look at a job ad. And when you tell them, and you display to them your understanding of all these things, you'll be ahead of the game. And once again, become an IMC ambassador. When Honeywell and hundreds and thousands of other organizations learn more about the MS-IMC curriculum, the backgrounds of our students, we can expect to see the MS-IMC as a preferred degree, not the MBA degree. It's a perfect match, and you can make it happen. Spread the word, become an IMC ambassador, and you'll advance your own career. Now again, my comments were kind of pointed. I think many companies, we have a student in our program who right now works as an assistant brand manager at Procter & Gamble. This is a little bit unusual in that Procter & Gamble focuses on brand management, and they probably want people to have a more thorough background in product development, distribution strategies, and pricing strategies. And I think a firm like that would probably respect an MBA more, although not completely. It's this person who I just met today for the first time is in our program. But when people are looking for marketing communications, the IMC program is perfect. Well, I think it's about lunchtime, so.
It is, I'm hungry.
Yeah. And by the way, if any of you have any need to contact me in the future, my email address is just my full name, archiesater@aol.com. Hey, thanks for joining me.